welcome to Into the Desert, exploring the wilderness of thought. I'm Elgin Hushbeck.
And I'm Larissa Munns. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share your comments down below.
In our last video, we talked about Christmas, and so it seems fitting that this one we talk about New Year's. And in our extensive couple of minutes of prep, I was surprised to learn that you don't believe in New Year's resolutions.
No, I don't believe in them at all. I think they are pointless.
Why don't you explain why? I've been looking forward to hearing your answer once we got on camera, so I don't actually know what you think, but I'm looking forward to it.
I think anything you do that you're forced to do because of some arbitrary date or time is not very useful. I think that there are certain things that you kind of have to do whenever their arbitrary dates are, but trying to force change on a specific day doesn't work. So if you think of an alcoholic or someone who's addicted to something, trying to force them to quit, trying to force them to go into AA or some sort of anonymous program or rehab fails almost every single time. I don't know the exact ratio, but the success rate when you force someone to do that is very, very, very low. On the other hand, if someone chooses to make that change and is looking for help, then it has that ability to do something wonderful, and it is life-changing, and it can be great. And so I see New Year's resolutions along those same lines. And if you force someone to do a resolution because it's the first of the year, so we need to do a resolution, it's going to fail. Most resolutions fail, so it's pointless. I think the last thing that I've done that can be partially construed as a New Year's resolution, and I would highly argue that it was not a New Year's resolution, was last year when I decided to do Bible in a year. And the program that I was working for was like day 1, it does this. And then day 2, it does this. And day 3, it does this. And those days were based off of January 1st, January 2nd, January 3rd. So I had been wanting to do Bible in a year for about 6 months prior. But because of how the program works, and I'm the type of person who likes to start at the beginning and not in the middle, I waited to January 1st to start it. But I wouldn't consider that a New Year's resolution.
Well, there's a lot I agree with in what you just said. But I take a different opinion. I think New Year's resolutions are important and they're very valuable. They're a great time to assess. And granted, that if you're doing a New Year's resolution on New Year's because it's New Year's and you're supposed to do it, yeah, you're right. You're probably going to fail because you're not really committed. But I think the end of the year, be it arbitrary or not, is a great time to reflect on how you've done in the past year. What were your strengths and weaknesses, and how can you address those strengths and commit goals to going forward? Having goals and having accountability is an important part of life, and it helps us be better. If you are doing it's the first of the year, I need to lose 50 pounds by March, and I'm going to, and then as soon as you go off, I failed, and that's it. Yeah, you're approaching the resolutions the wrong way. If, on the other hand, you say, I need to get my weight down, and I'm going to lose weight over this next year, and notice there's no specific amount, and you can commit to that, and you can start working on it, and you need to set goals that are pretty hard to fail, and when you do, fall off the wagon, so to speak, that we all do, you can get right back on without a lot of guilt. So New Year's resolutions shouldn't be a burden, but they are an important way of evaluating our life and improving ourselves, and we all need that.
I don't disagree. Evaluating your life is extremely important. But back to your weight loss example, most people don't come around January 1st and say, "Ooh, I'm going to lose weight." They think about it before Thanksgiving or in the summertime. I mean, there's plenty of times of the year that people think about weight loss. And I think a lot of people use New Year's as an excuse to procrastinate, and they use lots of excuses. And to me, having this idea of, well, I'll make it a New Year's resolution is a way for people to fail. And it's an excuse people give themselves so that they really don't have to change. And so if you feel like you need to lose weight, or you feel like you need to improve your career, or you need to change it because you're always saying like all the time and you maybe shouldn't say like so much, you should do that when you realize that it's something you want to change. And when it comes to goals, I'm very much a, create reasonable, specific, achievable goals that are easy to execute and have some sort of time boundness to that, so that it can help you make meaningful changes and not make excuses, which is what I think most people use New Year's resolutions for, which is why I'm not for New Year's resolutions. I'm for making meaningful changes, evaluating your life, but doing it whenever it happens.
Well, actually, on that, it sounds like we agree. The only difference is I think a New Year's is a great time to do that, and uh, because it's a fixed time, and without a fixed time of some sort, it drifts off into oblivion and never happens. Uh, so I like New Year's resolutions. I agree with your criticisms of them, but I like them to be more realistic. And you know, yeah, if your whole purpose of your New Year's resolution to lose weight is so that you can pig out over Christmas, that's not a good idea. But if you're looking at New Year's resolutions as a time to seriously reflect on how you have done as a person over the last year, and what can you now do to improve that in the coming year, and what are the ways that you might make some modest achievement, I think that's a great way to look at New Year's resolutions.
But I also think that those wonderful goals should be more of a habit. And so you shouldn't have to need that time boundness. We should all live our lives in a way where we're regularly looking at our life and saying, are we doing things right or wrong? And I've done lots of my most meaningful changes have been from that kind of reflection, that kind of, you know, daily, monthly, weekly habit of looking at my life and saying, did I just screw up? Okay, let's see how I don't screw up next time.
And that might make a good resolution for New Year's. Thank you for listening. I'm Elgin Hushbeck. Please be sure to like and subscribe. And in the comments, tell us your views of New Year's resolutions.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.